Hello and welcome back to Cultist Simulator with me, Barden. We're still on our Aspirant run here. Our cult is the Unflinching Order, and we're going for a power victory, which is Temptation Power. So what we need for that is we need to get to 36 Forge from different sources. So we look at what we have at the moment. We have 10 from either Valcine, Tristan, or Laidlaw. So one of those three. Then we have our Formula Visive at the moment, which is 10. We can get that up to, I think 2 more times, so up to 14, I believe. Maybe, yeah, we'll have to see. I'm trying to remember whether it's 14 or 16, but certainly that can be increased, and that should actually be 1 over there. So that can be increased to at least 14, maybe 16. Then we need to find what? We need to, so 10, 14, let's say, we need to find 12 from somewhere else. So what we're hoping to do then is to find an artifact from, probably not from one of these places. These places would probably be too low level, but certainly from something from higher up in the Mansus, which is Secret Histories, to get us over the line for that. And then once we have that in place, we can start working on this. There's no point in working on something like this until you have the lower in place to actually get the victory, because otherwise what you can do is you're going to get to a certain point where you can't advance anymore because you don't have what you need, and you got to spend resources to just maintain the status quo, and that's not a good place to be in. It's much better to get everything ready in place and then go for your victory after that. So what we're going to do is we have notoriety here, which has another, what, 2.5 minutes, almost 3 minutes left on it. And we're going to wait for that to go down. Then we're going to go to another expedition, probably St. Agnes Hospital, and then go from there. In terms of our cultists, I believe that everyone has been leveled up as far as we can. So we've got our reshapers there, and then the rest of the guys are disciples, but they can't, because they're not of the same aspect as a cult, they can't rise any higher than that anyway. Okay, so we're back into the Mansus. So here we could get that. It will be 6 Forge. I'm not sure whether we could use that in, possibly we could use that in the final, for the final rite, but it's probably going to be something like either an artifact, or it's going to be something that we have to summon to get that, rather than getting it from the Mansus. We're not going to get that at the moment because we don't need, as we're just discussing, everybody is up to the level that we can get them, so we don't need to be getting any more temporary forge stuff. So we can pick one of these two instead. I'm going to go there. Okay, so it's some erudition that we probably won't need, but we do get to read some pretty good text here, which is good. Okay, entering the stag door, the painted river runs from a great chamber near the white door, far through the Mansus to its far edge, where it enters the painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty, and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all the while the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. Okay, so that's pretty nice. We shall run time on. We shall collect those. We're now going to go back in. So I believe this one requires health, right? Yep. Okay, so start that up. Oh, it doesn't. Your reason then, right? Yeah, okay. So we may have just started down the road of getting more health accidentally. So we may actually lean into that. Okay, we don't need that. It's fine. Right, so we have coming up to a minute left. Between a minute and a minute and a half left on that. We can start out some more places, so we'll do that with you. Start there. Probably going to get another one. Actually, we haven't got all of these yet, so it may be another unique one. But we may be getting close to the point where I'm going to start getting repeats. Okay, so we have, I think this is pretty good for what we're looking for. Last night, Jerby was talkative. He spoke in his siege engine voice of the histories he'd overheard in the waking world. I listened until the stories tailed off again into weeping. So click those, and then we can get this going again. So let's slot a reason in there and keep that going. Right, so we have vitality there. As I said, we weren't really planning on increasing our health, but at the moment we don't have any other use for the study verb, so I don't see why we wouldn't at least start working towards it. Now, it is going to be difficult to get everything that we need, but with a few incidentals here and there from the mantis and stuff, we should be fine. So that's going to give us a restlessness that will obviously become a dread, but not too concerned about that. Right, so now we have work is done. Instigate that again, get it started again. Okay, so that's going to go now, so we should start our next... Oh, we have to wait for it to be done. Okay, displays mirrors close investigation, so we've got Kerishim again. Okay, so yeah, we're... Oh, this is the first time we've gotten Kerishim on this one. Okay, I think it's on my priest run then that we already had Kerishim. Right, so I think that's the first time we got Kerishim here. Right, so there's a restless there. That can just go sit up there. We won't be too bothered about that. One on its own is not really an issue. Now, we're going to go for St. Agnes Hospital. We're then going to send, I think Laidlaw is going to be one of the leaders. Let's see. Maybe we need someone like Orclair. I'm just thinking maybe there's a curse or something here. And then we provide the funds. And then we should get some indication of what we may need. Only echoes walk the hospital halls now, but malice lingers in the air. We must search meticulously room by room. Okay, so that could be something like knock or lantern to help us with the search. And then it does sound like either winter or maybe moth. I'm not sure. Winter or maybe something else to ward against a curse. So we'll go with Forge and Winter for now, and then at the next opportunity we will add someone else of a maybe Lantern, maybe send Slee along. But let's get this started anyway for the minute. Okay, that's good. Now, so that notoriety is gone. We're obviously going to generate more notoriety when this is done, but again, at the most he's going to get out of that is to be able to get tentative evidence, which just means that we have to kind of wait it out a bit or try to get rid of it. But I'd rather, at this stage of the game, I'd rather just try wait it out, because we're not in a rush for anything in particular. Right, so we're going to go for... Let's go for the Scent of Knives this time. Okay, so it's a temporary lore fragmented that we don't really need for anything. We're not an edge cult. Of the place my dreams took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far, the pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me. A pain I could employ to occult purposes, if I hurry. Okay. So we're just going to sit that up there because, as I said, we don't really need it. Right, so we got you there. Now, this one has 110, so it means that we can study again for another vitality. And then next time combine those two and just keep that cycle kind of going. So we're going to get another restlessness there. So we may, when we're done here, may look into maybe providing some contentment just to keep a lid on that. But at the moment, still 2 restlessness is not really an issue. Okay, so planning for the next phase. So now we can have a look here. We need heart or lantern to suppress this curse. Otherwise, it will not keep us from our goal. Otherwise, it will not keep us from our goal, but it may trouble us later. Okay, so yeah, you guys can get cursed afterwards, and you can get a certain type of injury in that as well. Okay, so let's send Slee for some lantern. And then if we need to, we can send Cat along as well for that. Okay. Now, let's get back into the Mantis. So, start that. Oops, didn't need to move you, sorry. And provide some reason there. Good. We won't bother about that for the moment. It's fine. You can go there. Okay. Now, let's get work going again, because we don't want to have to go use our passion and beg for our job back. We never like that. We're going to check here now. The Colonel is a scarred hour, but a power which knows light, and he has survived worse. His power should protect us. Okay, so let's send Cat, and then that should change it slightly. His power will almost certainly protect us. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've basically given ourselves the best chance of getting by that, so we should be okay. So we want to make a way through these, and then we'll start on these ones here, and then we're going to start looking for higher level stuff that will give us the item that we're going to need for the end of the game. Okay, so we've got another vitality there. We're now going to study these two together. Let's slot it. There we go. It's good. And then after that, then we'll get how many? We'll get 2 chances to 60. We'll go down to 119, right? Yeah, we'll get 1 more chance to get another vitality after that's done. Then we can study those 2 together, and then I think we'll need 1 more lesson learned then after that for vitality. We should be fine. At the minute, Daedalus is in no real rush to get certain things done. Let's go for the Painted River. Okay, that's good. That's another higher level location that we're going to be able to get later on. We'll have a quick read of this. There's a great chamber in the mansion through which a painted river flows. The vagabond, it is claimed, painted it from memory in the years before she left the house. Certainly there are histories concealed in its design. I traced them with my hand last night. There were fragments of aquamarine paint beneath my nails, flecks of gold leaf, when I was done. Okay, so we'll collect those, put things on. We'll then get going again. Let's provide some reason there. Okay, and roll that on. Now, let's see how... Our power is stronger than the power that was here. The curse won't touch us. Okay, so it means then the next thing is going to be finding things. So maybe the lantern is going to be okay with that, but generally, even with these lower level places, they generally don't set it out so that you use the same lore for 2 different challenges that are back to back. So if there may not even be another challenge for us to do though. It may just be that we're going to find wherever it is. But I want to send someone with, let me think, probably Knocklaw, right? Let's find our knock people. Are they up here? Yeah, they're here. Okay, let's send Neville. I feel that there's going to be some kind of secret place that we do have to find. Knock may be a good thing to have. Okay, let's grab those. So get that going again. Okay. At the moment, we're not going to use a cultist to try and get rid of the notoriety that we generate. Like he's going searching there. He's probably actually going to. It's going to be touch and go whether he finds this, because a few expeditions ago we actually generated the notoriety when he had like maybe 2 or 3 seconds left, but he wasn't able to capture it. So we'll see what happens this time. What was this place? The door bore no sign. There was no windows. The walls were painted a rich violet, which even now, after the ravages of rain through the leaking ceiling, a rotting chair has leather straps on the arms. The floor is porcelain and runneled. Okay, and those on. We then have that. So now we should study for that extra vitality we're talking about, and then once that's done, we can combine 2 together. Yeah, so he's going to have maybe about 10 seconds or so to find it. So I'd imagine that he will, but there's always a chance, right, that he won't actually turn it into tentative evidence. But even if he does, we can wait him out for a while and then go on another expedition when it's down to maybe 2 minutes to go or so. Let's go for the knives again. Okay, we got that pretty recently, so I'm not going to read it again. The next time we get it, though, I will read it. So he has captured the notoriety as he suspected he would. Okay. There is a padlock covered in the wall. It does not long resist our strength. It contains instruments tipped with flint and glass. Instruments one would not expect a surgeon to use. It contains other materials of more interest to us. Okay, so let's see what we got. So we got rose, pearl, dust. Pearls are sacred to the witch and sister, especially those of this colour. They have been used in protective rites among others. So that goes 4 heart aspect. Then we get the Rose of Hypatia, a book for study. Is that in a particular language? It looks like maybe in Greek. Yeah, it's in Greek. Okay. Then stained gloves. I think we already have a pair of those. And then the locksmith's dream, which is one that we can read straight away. Okay, let's collect all of those. We'll run things on. Okay, so you can go there. There's these. So we didn't have stained gloves. You are the one that needs to be translated, so put those there. Then you can go there. So then the next place we're going to go to is the Congregation of St. Felix of Shurin. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna say let's get ourselves going on getting some contentment, because I don't want that one is gonna go away, so that's not a problem. It's gonna go before the one that's in there actually before it activates that one, if you like, and moves on to looking for the next one. So that's not an issue. It's the fact that if we just leave it sit there, it will become an issue over time. So instead, let's go for some contentment and try and get rid of it quickly. A dancer enters from stage left, swathed in red bandages, tight as tendons. She peels one away. Another. Okay, so we can run that on. We're then going to head back into the Mantis, so we can provide that. We also need to get our work going again, so let's do that. Okay, good. Let's just pause for a second because I want to keep on top of the vitality situation. Yeah, so those two need to be combined now. Let's start that up. And then we can see here, so we do have tentative evidence. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with a solicitor, with a supervisor, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. Okay, so that can sit up there. So it just means that no expeditions for a while, but that's okay, because we can maybe just concentrate on this instead then. This must be a trick. One cannot remove garments so softly that the bones beneath the skin are visible. Bone pink as peach flesh. Organs nestled like grapes. The lights dim, gutter, go out, and the stage is red star with them. All our lips are dry. Let's collect those. So we now have to go there again. We'll pop that up. I think maybe that could become a vitality, so I'm going to put it there just in case. Now, one thing's on. Once you're ready, we're going to head back to the club again. We still do want to get that contentment if we can. Oh, that is bad. Okay, so yeah, that's bad enough that I need to check something. So I know it's either moth or is a heart that will help us get rid of notoriety. So I think it's the one where something like they start attacking people. I think it generates the notoriety. Yeah, it's okay. It's heart, right? So well, we've got to risk someone with heart then getting to get rid of that. Yeah, because look at that. Now he's on the run, or he's on the move. This is not good for us. So we're going to go here because this is potentially a favor from authority. So we have to ignore this at the minute. We've got to go for this because suddenly things went from everything's fine, we don't need to worry, to let's panic because this could potentially end our run. And obviously we do not want that to happen to us. So it's not a favor from authority. We're going to grab it. Have we read this one? Maybe we did earlier. Yeah, I think we did earlier. So we'll read that the next time we see it again. Okay. So let's grab those. Oh, we should have actually read it. I'm just getting a little bit panicky here with what's going on. Okay. So we need to get rid of that notoriety before he's able to snag it, which is going to be difficult. Okay, so where are our heart people? So Leo, let's have a chat with you. And the subject is going to be this. So basically we're talking to him about cult business. My reshaper can earn funds in illegal laboratories and shadowy manufactories. Occasionally something may go awry. Oh wait. Oh no. That was supposed to be Leo. And I did Laidlaw. Oh no. That was a... How did I manage to do that? Because the two don't look the same. I'm an idiot. Okay. Well, I don't want to talk to you about anything then. So... Oh no, because now we've given him the chance to grab that. Told you, panicky. Okay. So now we've got to switch to talking to someone who has... Where is it? Moth lore is going to be the thing. There we go. Okay, so Sylvie. So now we're going to have to talk to them about getting rid of the evidence. So yeah, this escalated pretty quickly. Okay, so we grab you, we pop you there. Right, we now need to go... We definitely need to go back in there because there's a chance of snagging a favor from authority, which would make this situation go away, which would be great. Let's see, you guys are fine, so we're gonna keep going with that. Meanwhile, we still need to deal with this situation here as well, because even though it's at 1, it could be a case of where we'll put all of our energy into this and then fail on this because we didn't pay any attention to it. Right. So he's got that, so he's potentially going to upgrade. Luckily there is, I think, a bigger chance of him failing at this stage to make the upgrade, so we're hoping that that is what's going to happen. But it is just hope. Okay, so let's get back to the club. We need to act as if we feel that We need to act as if we feel that we're not going to lose our run right now. Even though he does potentially in a few seconds have damning evidence against us. Okay, so here we are at the club. Tonight's performance is a desultory affair of flapping scarves and earnest flesh. The audience turns to conversation. Okay, so not the most exciting night at the club, although we would have liked a boring night like that instead of the one that gave us the notoriety that's caused the situation in the first place. Now, so we need to start talking to... Actually, we need to wait for it to... We need to wait to see what happens here, and then we need to talk to someone about getting rid of the evidence if they can. So it's going to be Sylvie, so let's see here. Okay, so there is... If this ever reaches trial, it will be I will be in serious danger. Even if this hunter is disposed of, another may find their notes. Okay, so we collect that. So now what we need to do is try to get rid of it. So we're going to pop Sylvie in there. And we're going to pop that in there. And Sylvie has a chance to get rid of it. She's also got a chance to completely mess it up and generate some notoriety and possibly get injured in the process as well. So we're obviously hoping that Sylvie can come through for us. There's our contentment there, so that's good. I spent the evening swapping theories with a table full of charlatans, posers, and perhaps initiates. Some of these theories may be true. Okay, so we grab that and pop you there. Okay, so we've headed that off at the pass. We now don't need to worry about dread for a considerable amount of time, I would imagine. Right, in the Mantis. Again, we're going to go here because it's a possible... I believe there's the possible play from third. We got Fascination instead. Okay, and we have a quick read of what's going on here. I dreamt of the manses behind a white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movements of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colours still. Okay, so we'll collect those. The fascination should not be an issue. We generally generate enough stuff to counter that we don't have to worry about it too much. Right, so we've got another vitality. We will have enough time. Yeah, we're going to have enough time to study again, so we'll do that. We are also going to get back into the Mantis because if we can get a favour from authority, would be great. Because he's not going to be long before he goes again and potentially ends this particular run. Let's keep on going to work as if nothing, as if our world is not falling apart around our ears. Try and keep up that pretense to the world. Don't let the panic show. Okay, so fascination is captured there. But this is going to generate a fleeting memory, which will then be captured and take care of that anyway. Dwarf Despair prowls elsewhere. Okay, so grab those. You can sit up there until you're captured. Here's the moment of truth here, though. Okay. My minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I'm a little safer. A little safer. A lot safer. Okay. So we got rid of that evidence, which is amazing. Now we're free to head on another expedition, which we're going to do straight away. We're going to send All Claire as the leader. We're then going to send... let's send Victor and just have some edge there right at the start. We'll pop in some funds and we'll start that. Membership of the congregation is strictly controlled. It may even be inherited. The safest approach is to burgle the minister's residence while he's conducting a service, but the sworn mothers of the congregation guard the place in shifts, and they are not easily distracted. Expeditions, okay, so we've gone with edge, so there are going to be enemies there that we potentially could have persuaded distracted or done something else with. But we're probably going to choose to fight them because we've got the edge here anyway to do it. It kind of makes sense to take that approach. Okay, so we're back in here again. Now, suddenly we don't need the favor from authority anymore. So we're probably going to get one, right? No, we didn't. That's good enough. Let's collect that. We've got a couple of those in a row, so that's why I'm not reading that particular one. You're done as well, so let's collect those. We've got some vitality there. That one is going... Okay, so what we should do is pop in our health, get going on another one. When that's done, those two can be... yeah, so those two there can be combined. And then that new vitality we can combine with that one, and then we work on from there. Okay. Got at least the outline of a plan there. And get back into the Mantis again. Our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I can add... okay. We can murder them or deceive them, but they will not be seduced. Okay. So definitely, let's go for the murdering option. So that's going to be Elridge. Let's send Elridge along. That gets our edge up to 10. Work is done. We're going to collect those. I'm really happy that we were able to head off. Like the first damning evidence that we got in this run, we were able to get rid of it straight away. And then there you see that the fleeting memory was taken in there. So painting whispers, windows wink. Paintings whisper, windows wink. I know these things are not true, but how can I be certain? Okay, and now we need to provide another person there. We're going to send Rose as well. So really leaning into the edge here. I don't think we're going to have an issue. You can, obviously, there is a small chance that there's going to be an issue with it, but I don't think we will have one. Okay, this time we're going to snag that because it's going to be good for us. We're going to pop you over here. I'm going to pause for a second. So we need to do some combining. So that one and that one together. And then it's going to be those two when we're done. Okay. Then let's have a read of this and then head back into the Mantis. Last night, Jirby was talkative. He spoke in his siege engine voice of the histories he'd overheard in the waking world. I listened until the stories tailed off, again into weeping. Okay, so collect those. And then we can get ourselves straight back in. Just keep on collecting that stuff. Okay. So yeah, we can kind of relax again for a little while at least. He's on the hunt, there's nothing for him to find. And it's actually good that he's going hunting now, because then it's less likely he's going to go hunting when the notoriety is actually up and available for him. Okay, work is done. But as I always say, it's not really done, is it? Because you got to get going straight away again. Okay, mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glow recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. Now, their bodies. Okay, so bodies are gone. Let's pop in some. Let's get some heart in here, and then we'll see what the next one requires when it comes up. Okay, let's again. Yeah, let's go. Let's grab another one while we can. We just read it, so we won't read it again. That's done, so we can pop that there. I wanted to check with this. Okay, so we need 3. So this will be the last one we need. So we can pop both of those in there. Start you up and keep going. Once we've kind of done that one, we'll take a break from leveling up our health. and we'll start studying these books and whatever new books that we get from there as well. Okay, so we get you going again. He found nothing for him to find. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Beneath the altar, in a box secured with a complicated triple knot, we find a trove of books, and more besides, a knife rank with old blood, a twist of cloth, a leathery remnant of something the minister must have surrendered at his ordination. Okay, so let's see these things. So, first book is one that we don't have to translate. Okay. Then that is Unattended Church. Okay, so you can go down here with the other ones that we've already done. And we just continue on. So another book, more books. Okay, lots of books. Right, let's grab those. And then we have the notoriety there too. So let's sort the books out. Let's pop that up there. Hoping that the 5 minutes that has to go actually passes without him noticing it, but we'll see. That one I'm going to put over there because we're going to sell it. Actually, let's do that now. Let's send it to the auction house. We probably only get 1 funds for it, but 1 funds is alright. And let's get our work going before we forget. Okay, and then let's deal with the 4 actual books that we got. Okay, so you're in Greek as well, so you can pop there. Let's pause for a second because I want to keep on top of this. Right, so you need to go there. Then we slot. Oh wait, no, because one of those ones degraded. Okay, so let's get ourselves the extra vitality. We will study them together. Those 2 will have, yeah, we'll have plenty of time for that as well. That's good. Okay, and here, right, you do not need to be translated, so we'll pop you there. You don't need to be translated either, and you are in Greek. Okay, so we have 3 Greek books and 3 books that are just in plain English. Right, so let's have a look at what the books are. So the first one is the Locksmith's Dream Trespasses, the 3rd volume of Theresa Galmier's Examination of Parallels and the Mystic Dreams of Artisans. Okay, we're going to go for that one this time. And I'm going to pause so I can read this. I visited the Ascent of Knives last night, that harshest of roads through the house. It has been sacred to the Menascate and the Sun and Rags since the intercalate when the true sun was divided. When I woke, my room was freezing. The chill of it had cracked the window glass. Okay, so we're going to go straight back in there. Get that going. You can pop up there. We don't need you at the minute. We got our 1 funds for that, which is good. We're going to have to deal with that when it's done. But for now, we'll just kind of read our way through these books. Chion at Abydos, a play dealing with the 9-year sojourn of a snow goddess in the Thracian city of Abydos by Apollo Fireweaver. It enjoyed success in London in its 1892 edition when it was republished from apparently an older Greek text. Okay, then this one is the Bellus Mororum, an 18th century epic poem by the pseudonymous Solipsistus. Okay, grab that. We shall study those 2 together. That will give us the 3 that we need, which is good. We'll get work going again. Put that there. So we've got this in here. This illness has damaged my heart. I need to rest before I am fully recovered, I guess. Let's go for you this time. For some fascination. I dreamt of the manses behind the white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colours still. Okay, so again, fascination is not really a worry because we have plenty of ways of dealing with it. And let's grab you. And where did the affliction actually go? There, okay. So let's pop it there. So that, actually, let's pop it in because that's done. And we're going to pay with funds. Because we've got plenty of funds. It's not going to be an issue. Right. Now, we read about that one. We're now going to look into the Greek ones. The Rose of Hypatia, marked with the triple sign of the arcane contemplative order, known as the Sisterhood of the Knot in Greek. Okay, and then next one. The Rose of Nouriel, marked with the triple sign of the arcane contemplative order, known as the Sisterhood of the Knot in Greek. Okay, so pretty much the same. The Rose of Nouriel. Okay, so same kind of thing, but a fourth leaf has been added, disfiguring the sign in Greek. So that is slightly different to the other two. That's kind of interesting. Right, so that is done there. We now have enough to do this. We slot all three. That's going to give us another health, which is kind of nice for us. We have 140 on that. He's going to capture it. Once he's done with that, we're going to go on a new expedition because it won't be around by the time that our new expedition is done. And it's going to be our first visit to the Forsaken Reach on this run. We have our work done. We'll get it going again. Right, what do we get here? We got our health back, which is good. We don't need to worry about that becoming decrepitude. We're now going to head back into the manses. There's not some reason there. Okay. Actually, I guess we could have dreamt those two together just to head off any issues that they're going to give us, but I don't think either of them is really going to be too much of an issue. Okay, so there is our extra health as well, so we're up to 4 health there. So it's captured that one. What we should probably do is we should go to the club and get ourselves a contentment, just so that, yeah, we're going to get to contentment there. So it's not going to be, that one's going to be dealt with straight away. It's not going to build up to anything that is going to threaten us. The drinks, the songs, the light, the arching walls, the smoke blue haze, the press and sway of clothed and unclothed flesh. Okay, we can run you on. Now, here we have the books. What we're going to do is we're going to do the ones that are in English first, and then we're going to translate the Greek ones. So let's start with this one. In this volume, notoriously, Galmier's prose begins to disintegrate, and it is not clear which dreams are in fact her own. Of course, we've met Galmier in the manses at the, was it the pavilion of the night or wherever it is. I can never remember the full name of it. I purchase pleasure, I rail home in the ungodly hours and collapse into bed. As you do. Right, yeah, so that will get captured by that, so we leave it there for now. Yeah, it's the Lodge of the Sage Knight, that's where she is. Okay, so one of these two, we're going to go to the Scent of Knives. It's not really one that we need. I visited the Scent of Knives last night, the harshest of roads through the house. It has been sacred to the Menascate and the sun and rags since the intercalate, when the true sun was divided. When I woke, my room was freezing. The chill of it had cracked the window glass. Okay, click those. You can go sit up there. We're not going to use you. We'll get work going again. So pop those two in there. Keep that going. We have, how long? We got just under 2 minutes left on that. I think that is kind of a good time to go for the next place. So let's start the next one up. We're going to go with Tristan to lead, and we're going to go again with Edge, because I feel like there's probably going to be another fight at this one. The law does not touch this decaying fringe of the city. The mud here has claimed many lives, and there will no doubt be some wretched criminals or other lairing in the warehouse. Yeah, some kind of fight going to happen. So having someone with Edge at the start is going to make it very easy for us to get to 10 Edge overall. Now we're going to start that again as well. Get that in there. Okay, book is almost done. Okay, so we have 2 dread there now, so that is a little bit more of an issue, especially seeing as it missed our contentment as well. It skipped over that, so we're going to have to get some more contentment, which is probably going to have to come from dreaming, at least one dreaming, so we're going to have to get a tincture of opium to do that. Our expedition plans for the next phase. Okay, so Forge or Lant. So we already have Forge, and these guys can be fought or seduced. So we've already said we're going to fight them. So Eldridge is going to go. That then gives us 10 Edge and 10 Forge, which should be fine for those. Now that is going to generate another, going to generate a Restlessness, which will decay into Dread, which could then potentially make this 3 and end the run, but we should deal with that before it happens. The woman in the sand-coloured robes has told me the stairways of the manses go ever up. Death is down. The mother of ants guards both directions with each of her heads, and so the passage must always be through a wound. I think the white door might be a wound. That's one reason the dead sometimes pass it. I think I have the other half of the secret now, and I hope my reader can put both halves together. Okay. So we got, we got some moth lore and glimmering. So moth lore is going to go there. Now that is good because if we get some, let me think now. I think which one does it? Okay, I'm gonna have to check. I know that they're either arranged by like top to bottom what they turn into, or top to bottom which one will subsume the other. So I'm not sure whether we're now looking for a lantern for it to subsume to move up one, or we're looking for a grail for exactly the same thing. I guess we could actually see. Well, we can't because they're not up the right level. So we're going to have to perhaps study some more books instead. Well, that looks like it's possibly... It kind of looks more Edge than Lantern, I have to say, the kind of colouring. This one is probably going to be Winter, maybe. It could be Moth as well, I guess, but I think it's Winter. But let's study them in order anyway, because we're in no rush to get that. We don't need to go higher in the Mantis at the moment, so we don't need to push for it either. The entity called Shion arrives in a blizzard and demands the city gates are barred. As Abydos falls under her spell, the dead return but do not speak. Okay. Let's run that on. We need to remember as well, after this one, we shouldn't go back into the Mantis because we should get the contentment that's going to help us with that. You can pop up there. We hope that you're not going to be captured, but it's probably going to be a case that we reduce this to 1, then it gets captured, then we need to work on reducing it again. We invoke the madrigal, or madrigad, an hour of forge as well as winter. We'll make our own path through. Success is almost certain. Well, let's make success a little more certain by going up to 20. Although I'm not sure whether going up to 20 actually makes a difference or not. Whether it actually puts you in another tier. Let's grab that one. Last night, Jirby was talkative. He spoke in his siege engine voice of the histories he's overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories tailed off again into weeping. So we collect those. We're now going to do this one. In times of special crisis, I might visit a discreet pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dreams sweet, but only in times of special crisis. And we're actually not going to do that because this just gave us some contentment. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So we'll accept that. Okay, work is done. And as always, we're going to get immediately started again. So we're going to let that run a bit, and then we're going to go for what we need. We're mud splattered and thorn scratched, but we've made it through. Okay, that's good news. Let's have a read of the book. Chion and Abydos. For 8 years, the city is a place of slow death, frosty ecstasy, and silent beauty. But in the 9th year, a conspiracy of shouts is mounted against the quiet that Chion demands. The conspirators open the city gates, and a scarred man comes to drag Chion out by the hair. Summer returns, but the conspirators die of remorse. Okay, and we got some winter out of that. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to go for the next book. This one is Study De Bellis Mororum by Solsistus. The poem elliptically describes a war between beasts, weather phenomena, and arcane concepts. It's quite specific about their tactics. Okay, so we can run that on. Now, I think about now would be the right time to do this. It should be just about right. In times of special crisis, I might visit a sweet pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my drink sweet, but only in times of a special crisis, which I believe this is going to be. Now, we've got you here as well. Our expedition plans for next phase, okay, which is the stabby phase. So we're going to send Victor along to increase that to 15. Okay, that is good. So this should be another successful expedition for the guys. And I don't know whether we're going to do the rest of these just yet. We might do just to build up some more lore, or we might skip on to the next higher up level. Okay, so the Watchers will almost certainly regret standing against us. And we don't have any more edge people, so we can send... Let's send a Grail person, just because we can, right? Let's move that on. Oh, that deep piece, but I should not do this again. So again, as we suspected, it's gone back up to 2, but we do have a contentment there that it should capture and bring it back down to 1. And once that has happened, then we can probably go to the club again, would be a good idea once this is done, and just take care of that completely. Okay, the 2-1 joined and the horned distinguished, consequently blood. Okay, and we got some more edgelore there. Right, now we're going to start translating. So what we're going to do is translate each of the books before we start reading them. I think that's probably the best way to do it, because otherwise I'll forget which ones have and haven't been translated. Okay, and yes, so if we're not going to use this again just yet, then we should probably go here. Right, so that is going to be an issue, because it could now take that and get up to 3 and really screw us over. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to leave that available to potentially generate some contentment before we get to the point where the 3 dread is actually going to end our run. So we're gonna keep that aside to be able to get that tincture. And actually, what we'll do is we'll do it now. We are potentially risking our health because we've done it. Like, we've still got the contentment that we had from the last one up there. But I think it's worth doing it because what's the point in losing the run and for the sake of not getting an injury that you can actually get rid of anyway. Okay, so let's start that up. It's interesting, we've had 2 kind of tense times already in tonight's stream. So the first is where the detective actually managed to get damning evidence against us, but we were able to use one of our cult members to actually get rid of it pretty swiftly. That was nice. And now we have this one where potentially we're going to have 3 dread there, which obviously if it's able to complete will end our run. Okay, their blood pumps bright, then dark. They should not have opposed us. We move on. Okay, so then I can send someone else. So let's send Eau Claire here. Get some winter going as well. And run that on. So there is the 3 dread. So what's going to happen is when it goes all the way around, the timer is then going to turn red, and if we don't provide at least 1 contentment by the time the red timer gets all the way around, so I think it takes a minute, it might be 30 seconds though. So either in about 2 minutes or a minute and a half, it could be the end. But we do have a contentment sitting here, so it shouldn't be an issue for us. Oh, that deep piece, but I should not do this again. Well, we did just do it twice in a row, but we are kind of pushing our luck. Let's pop you there. So that is ready. We're now going to translate the next one, but our minds are going to be on that issue with the dread, as they should be. We're going to get work going again. Again, just going into work, keeping up the pretense that, you know, there's nothing wrong at all. Fidgeting at our desk, but trying to hide it. And, you know, every time that a messenger comes to the office, kind of looking to see if they're actually looking for us or if it's just regular business stuff. Right, so now he's got 4.4 seconds left to find the notoriety we just generated. It's kind of on the cusp of whether he's actually going to be able to do it or not, so we'll have to see what happens. The watches here, oh sorry, zoomed in a bit too much. The watches here were guarding crates sealed with thief-signed ribbons. This was not a lawful operation. The owners of the cargo may not be pleased with our meddling. Right, so we got some funds, got some bitter stacked salts, which is strength 4 forward, so it's not quite what we're looking for. We got a Maravine idol, and we got some Martensite paste. Okay, so let's collect all of those. Now, notoriety can go up there. We'll see if he's going to find it. These can then go over here with this stuff. Okay, and run things on. So there we go. So that actually only had a couple of seconds left, so we're kind of lucky there, the way things work out. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the club, because I want to have another contentment ready for when it goes looking again. Tonight the performance pass among the audience, juggling knives or bottles of red glass, bending to bestow whispers or other gifts. Okay, that's fine, we run it on. Yeah, so that's something to keep in mind as well, is that contentment has a shorter shelf life than a lot of the other kind of cards that have a countdown. So What you don't want to do is to rush out trying to generate lots of it at the same time, because generally only one of those is going to get used, and then you're wasting your resources and your time and your focus on generating stuff that you don't need. So it's best to generate one and have it sitting there ready to be consumed, and then once it's done, you've kind of got a lid on the situation. You can then start generating the others as and when they're necessary, and bring it down that way. You're not going to be able to have 3 contentments sitting there and have all 3 be used to deal with a situation like this. Right, so you are done. We're going to check here. This is something like enlightenment. Okay, so we've got a glimmering there, which we're not going to use, so we'll just leave it there for the minute. And we're going to go back into the mantis, so we can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief on the whole dread thing. But yeah, if we had rushed a bit too much with our contentment, it may have been, instead of being like 3 seconds left on that card when it got captured, it might have been that it disappeared 3 seconds before there was a possibility of it being captured, and then we would now be scrambling to try and generate a contentment and head off a game-ending thing, and we may have actually run out of time. So we've got some vitality there, which we will use if we get some kind of injury. We have another contentment there, which we're hoping will be used for this. We won't, again, as I was just talking about, we're not going to generate another contentment right now, because it would be gone by the time we would actually be able to use it. Right, so we translated that one. We're now going to move on to the next one and do this one as well. Locked study door, the work begins. Indeed. Okay, and talking about work. Okay, and we have an affliction, or no, it's going to be an affliction, right? That's going to come here, and we're actually going to be able to use this vitality to get rid of it, which is kind of it's always nice and neat when that happens. Okay, we're going to grab you, pop you in there. Of the place my dream took me last night, this has been written. The ascent is glass, the walls are knives, each step is blood. I did not climb far, the pain was too great. When I woke, that pain remained with me, a pain I could employ to occult purposes, if I hurry. Okay, so we're not going to employ it, to occult purposes. I'm just going to sit it up there instead. Okay, and we're going to head back into the mantis once again. I'm just checking on my stream. I'm always afraid to say that we've had no skip frame issues, because I know it's going to start up once I make mention of it, and then I'm going to be really annoyed. So boo me, I guess. Right, so these are ready now. I'm going to work our way down through them. Saint Nympha is described as not born but cultivated, the sentience that became the saint. Hypatia indicates inhabited a sinner's corpse in order to enable that sinner's redemption. Okay, so we start that up. Right, so we then have that one got captured as well, so that is good. Right, so you're done, and where did you go this time? Oh, there. Sitting there. Okay. Let's put that there to remind ourselves that we need to dream with it. Sorry for booting these around. Okay, get that going. So, funds-wise, we should have no worries about funds from now until our run ends. Whether that run ends in success or not is another thing. But funds should be fine, but still we should keep going with the work, because it's always good, we don't actually need to do anything with it yet until we start working on our temptation. So there's no point, there's no reason not to do it. So just keep that going and have that there is kind of nice. Have just that extra bit of funds available if we need. Right, so we have 2.5 minutes to go. So pretty soon we're going to go on another expedition. It's we're probably going to go jump up to a higher difficulty now and go to Gladwin Lake. Okay, let's grab you. Last night Jerby was talkative. He spoke in the siege engine voice of the histories he's overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories tailed off into weeping. So collect those. That's good. Okay, now we've got to get rid of this affliction. So we'll pop that there. We'll use the brutality that we got. Okay, that's nice. Now, mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm saying if that means anything. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second because we've got a few things going on. Right, so now we should go to the club again and generate that last contentment that we need to deal with there. The backdrop for tonight's performances are painted with nightmare images of the Piranesi, vast impossible subterranean prisons. The dancers are monster masked, sudden as fire, each movement snapped with wicked intent. Okay, and run that on. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna generate hopefully some contentment for you. Not all the dead enter the manses by the winter door. Not all the dead enter the manses at all. So, okay, that is really good. Because what that means is we're going to be able to study those two together. So let's collect those. But now we're going to be able to study those two together and get to the next level, which is what's actually needed to advance our mansis up one. Because we need a 6th strength. 6th strength moth lore. So this one is up to highest strength, and I didn't want to reduce it down because there's no need for that. So we're going to study these two together. We should check what it is that we need. So we're going to need a glimmering. Okay, we had a glimmering, but we don't have one anymore. Okay, we may get one from there, from the mansis. But I'm going to go and study for one anyway, because there's no point in just waiting around and hoping to get one. Right, so that is another restlessness, which could be an issue for us because we actually got a glimmering there. I forgot we were going to get that. Okay. The dancers pass beyond the backdrops, cross them, seem to move upon their staircases and drawbridges. Their bodies become smudged with backdrop paint. A growl arises from the audience. The wall of the house. Okay, we'll grab that and pop it there. Yeah, so we didn't actually need to do that. But we do need to get back in there again, because what is potentially going to happen now is this is going to degenerate into dread, and it's going to get captured by this again, and we're going to miss the opportunity to just end the cycle because it's been going on for a while. That one has 90 seconds left now, so it won't be around by the time that we finish this, so it's probably a good idea to get going on this. Now let's send Valsane Valsane, and who else? Let's send someone Edge, because we may need to do some fighting. Beneath the surface of the lake, or in some cliffside nook, perhaps, some relics remain for us yet. Okay, and as we get kind of hints on what's going to happen, we shall decide what we're going to do in terms of who else is going to go. So the one chance we are taking though is obviously that he goes searching now, as he does, and then turns that into tentative evidence, which he probably will do now. Okay, the sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. And as a byproduct of that, it looks like we're gonna get a vitality there as well. Okay, now what do we need here? Let's check. The mother of ants was born among serpents. She is so very, very young. It can be defeated in battle, or it will respond to the mother's power. Okay, well, we are definitely going to try to beat it in battle. So let's send Elridge along and increase her edge. Yeah, so this is potential here for us to get another. He's probably going to generate some tentative evidence. We've got a glimmering there. Okay, we're going to take those two and pop them there. Right, so we need to go for more opium. Why not, eh? In times of special crisis, I might visit a street pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dreams sweet, but only in times of special crisis, which now would be included in that, I believe. Right, so what we've got here now: eyes like glass lamps, scales like black jade. A serpent is a powerful foe, but it's nothing before us. Okay, and then just in case, let's send Victor as well. My own heart pumps more strongly today. So we got some vitality there as well, which is good. Our work is done, so we're gonna set the cycle off again on that. Okay, yeah, so potentially we're gonna have to worry about some damning evidence now. So he's probably oh, good. He actually didn't do anything with it. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. So that's perfect, because now we don't need to worry about him, because if he had made tentative evidence there, then potentially the next time he went searching and captured something from here, we could have actually had damning evidence and been on kind of countdown for when we were going to lose the run. Actually, not that it matters, but it's kind of a nice habit to use the one with the lower timer, even when you don't need to, because it's not like we're going to use this other one anyway, but it's just a nice habit to be in, because there are times when kind of sticking to that discipline is going to help you to use your cards more efficiently. Okay, so now the serpent rolls and roars, its death throes shake the earth, but it's dying. We will pass. Okay, that's good. We do not know what's coming next. I'm going to send some lantern along. Let's send Cat there. So at the moment we're not going to the Mantis because I want to get this dealt with. It's been hanging around for so long. It's at the point where I need to get rid of it, because otherwise what will happen is I'll forget about it and then it will become an issue again, and we're going to get the 3 with the red timer, and potentially we're not going to be able to produce contentment quick enough to actually take care of it there and then. So I'd rather just get rid of it now by getting another contentment and being a bit happier about things. So let's get going on that now. We've already read that a few times, so I won't read it again. We may get an affliction out of that. Okay, you're looking for another one there. At the moment, luckily there isn't one. Okay, let's see what we have here. The chapel crypt is flooded and the water soupy with old corpse matter, but at least we bring up a wax sealed coffer. 18th century? No, older than that. Let's see what's within. Okay, so what is within? So we've got Witch's Kiss oil. Okay, which is heart aspect. We then have a book that seems to be written in Latin. Those dignitaries perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Obliviates. Okay, and then another book written in Latin, the Orchid Transfiguration Volume 3. Okay, and then we have some notoriety as well for him to potentially find, which means no expeditions for a little while at least. Let's put the Latin books here. Let's pop this over here on the higher shelf because it's got aspect 8. There's a contentment there, so that now has finally been closed down, which is good. Oh, that deep piece, but I should not do this again. Well, hopefully we don't need to, because now we've stopped that for a while. It's always that. It's always when it kind of builds up that little bit of momentum where it's getting like going 1 to 2, back to 1, back to 2. That it's kind of at its most dangerous, because you can think that well, it's only 2, it's not that worrisome, and then miss it for a little while, concentrate on something else. Then you get your restlessness, which becomes a dread, and suddenly you got 3, and you got to then scramble to get your contentment. Okay, so we have that now. The Lore of the Wood. I've increased my mastery of the Lore of the Wood, which we call by his aspect moth. Right, so now if we dream you, oh, sorry, not study, dream. Okay, so dream you with you. In my dreams, I know the path to the stag door through the maze of the bounds. Jubilee will let me pass, but the path is always a puzzle. I will need reason. Okay, so let's see. This should get us to the next level up. We're going to get some more contentment there as well, which is nice. Let's pop that up there. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. Okay, and we will collect you. Pop you up there. Luckily we don't actually need you. For a while there though, it was looking a bit dodgy. Right, now we can start studying the rest of these books, excuse me. St. Tryphon, Nouriel explains, performed secret miracles in the name of she who bleeds and bears, and she who opens. Thus St. Tryphon opened the way to the house of the sun. Thus St. Tryphon underwent the great birth and ascension to immortality. Okay. As always, really well written. Right, now gotta wait on that. It has what? 3.5 minutes to go. Dove of Despair prowls elsewhere. Finally. So we're going to get some restlessness there, which will eventually give us a dread. I dreamt of the rain, whispering in the eaves, tapping on the window, like an old friend, hissing prankishly in the chimney. It is difficult to be unhappy in the right kind of rain. Okay, so we got some contentment, but we didn't get what we were looking for. So what else can go there? Let's try some other lore then. Let's try you. See if that works. I was almost certain that it would have been the moth one, but I guess not. And you should also move there because you're at that level now. The Forge of Days waits in my dreams. If I learn the Forge's lore and I dream of it, this temptation, I can advance my purpose. The need gnaws at me. Okay. So we're gonna. I know sometimes temptation can be what is needed to advance in the mantis, so we may actually check if it's that next. We run that on again. Okay, St. Tryphon began his ascension by passing the horn door. He continued it by learning the invocation Theatic, which Nouriel does not here record, on account of its extreme holiness. And Nouriel explains grimly, to achieve the 7 marks of the Great Birth, St. Tryphon consumed both those whose soul had left them and even those in whom the soul remained. Okay, so we got some Knock and some Grail lore. I'm going to grab both of those. The Grail lore we can pop up there. Okay, so you've gotten some Dread. So this time, let's try and deal with it straight out of the gate and not muck about with it. In tonight's performance, Amethyst, a net-wielding hunter, pursues a veil-winged woman through a murmuring maze of leaf-clad dancers. Each movement is underwater slow. Okay. Study-wise, let's go for a new book. The Rose of the Nouriel, the offshoot favoured by Nouriel, the true sisterhood followed by Saint Rapicius in pursuing ascension in the name of the door in the eye, the merciless hour of light. Saint Rapicius failed, perhaps because the larger sisterhood tracked him down and ritually strangled him. But Nouriel outlined step for those who hope to succeed. Okay, so it sounds like there's going to be some kind of ritual from that and probably some lore to go along with it as well. I dreamt of opening doors, red doors and gold doors and doors of glass and doors bound like books and railway carriage doors and castle gates. Behind one was "There's something I seek." I woke with the slamming of doors still in my ears. Okay. So let's pop you there. So yeah, let's try this time with you. Oh, you can't go there. Okay. So, I'm going to check something then. Because I'm not sure how we get to the next one. Okay. Okay. So not you. Okay, so we don't have. You are 6th, yeah. We don't. You should actually be back here. We don't yet have anything to make it to the next level, so what we're going to do is just continue on here at this level instead and work on getting there once we can. Okay, so we need basically 8th level lore, but we don't have 8th level lore is certain, so it's Lantern, Knock or Grail, so none of those are up to the required intensity just yet. The lights go down very gradually as the performance ends. There is no applause. We each drift into the street alone with our dream. Okay, so we got some fascination there. We got some contentment as well. Okay, work is done. We're gonna get going on it again. Okay, and I think in about 5 minutes I'm gonna take a short break just to make myself cup of tea because I can feel my throat drying out, and I don't want to strain it too much. There's a lot of chatting and a lot of reading in this. Okay, so we don't need to go to the club at the minute. We probably could chase down some more of these, so let's pop you in there. It could be Kersham again, because I think Kersham is the repeat one for that level, but we'll see. We now have less than a minute to go on you as well, so probably going to go for a new expedition as well. I visited the Ascent of Knives last night, that harshest of roads through the house. It has been sacred to the Menescate and the Sun and Rags since the Intercalate, when the true sun was divided. When I woke, my room was freezing. The chill of it had cracked the window glass. Okay. That is temporary. Winter lore. Oh, he's on... This could change our decision now, because he's probably going to find that notoriety, and although last time he failed to produce tentative evidence, he's probably going to be able to do it this time. Seek in dreams, seek the mantis. The third mark can be achieved only when one has passed the stag door, one must pass the wood, one must rise to the white door. The stag door awaits the light bearer in the sight of Derby. Okay. So we got some lantern, and we got some edge as well. Okay. So potentially we could go 2 edge together to here. Would get us... Yeah, 2 edge to here would get us 6th level. Then... I don't know if that does that one, we could potentially get another 2, then end up with 2 6th level ones and together make an 8th one. Or potentially we could maybe do these 2 together, and then, or even these 2 together could be. Yeah, actually, let's see if we can do that. So you and you. So let's see. Gonna need a glimmering, and looks like another glimmering. Okay, so just need a glimmering then, which we don't have. So let's study for the glimmering. Start that up. Let's head on back into the mantis. Provide a reason. There we go. Nicely slotted. Let's get work going again as well. Start that up. Let's see then what happens with the detective. Okay, grab that. You can go sit there. Yeah, I'm feeling that he's probably going to convert it, but we'll see. Chateau Raveline. Okay, that is a new place. We'll pop it over there. Let's wait. Yeah, because potentially... Actually, no, we have time, so let's search for another one. And then we may go on another expedition, depending on whether he actually manages to produce the tentative evidence or not. Okay, so we've got the fascination there. It's going to be probably cancelled out pretty easily anyway. Let's go for the Painted River. Okay, more fascination. Suddenly, for the first time probably in this entire run, fascination could be an issue, which is interesting. I dreamt that the mantis behind the white door of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colours still. Okay, so we grab that. Yeah, so potentially fascination going to be an issue. What we could do is... You've got longer left than that. Okay, so let's do this. Let's stream those 2 together. The doors of vision swing wide. The darkness will mellow my light. Even dread has its uses. So that will get rid of that. Then this one should take that dread and cancel the 2 out. We're going to check here. We have our glimmering, which means now we can pop you 2 there, start you up, and then the glimmering is going to go there, and then we'll just check here. So he has got tentative evidence. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, with the solicitor, with the supervisor, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. Okay, so now let's see. Who have we got? There's a knock. There we go. Okay, Leo. Let's have a chat with Leo about the cult. And then that will give us a chance to get rid of the tentative evidence. But before we do that, I'm going to have a quick break to make a cup of tea. So it should be back in probably 3 or 4 minutes. So hopefully you guys stick around and I'll see you then. Okay, we're back. Right, so I'm going to run time on. Have a nice cup of tea here with me. I've also got some water as well. So I'm going to take a drink of water and hope that we can get rid of that tentative evidence really quickly. Probably going to go for about another hour. Because yesterday I wasn't feeling great, and kind of this morning still not 100%. So yeah, I might just go until about 8:30 my time, and then call it then. But I feel like we're making some good progress today, which is nice. Right now we have a few things to deal with. So the first is this place merits closer investigation. So Carisham again. So Carisham is the repeat then for that level. So if we go through the rest of these, we're just going to get more Carishams, I think. So we should go through these instead. And we're still waiting to see whether we get rid of the tentative evidence. So we're not going to consider another expedition just yet until we know what's happening with that. Wow, everything's kicking off though. Right, what have we got here? This is a puzzle with a missing piece. Glimmering. Oh, there's a glimmering. I was looking over here because I generally store them over there, but I just left it where it was. But there we go, there's the glimmering provided. The air is curdled now. I'm home again in this lump of flesh. Better perhaps. Well, hopefully better. So let's go through there again. Okay. No one understands us. Or else they understood us too well. So we've got peculiar rumor. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I talked to him about cult business. I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone, hey, Leo, let's have a chat about this evidence. There we go. And run that on. So that should hopefully get rid of that. The Forger Days waits in my dreams. I will learn the Forger's lore and I dream of this temptation. I can advance my purpose. The need gnaws at me. Now, the issue we have now is we have one dread in here. Oh, it's actually for fascinating. We don't have an issue at all. Scratch that. Because I was thinking that that this is actually dread, because then it would have been 1, 2, 3 potentially, but it's okay. Peculiar rumor, we just leave. There's no benefit in us chasing that up at this stage of the game. That is going to be that's going to be something that we need to take care of as well. An affliction. And what did we get this time? Fermir Abbey. Robert Fermir spent much of his unsavory fortune on the endowment of this monumental forest-crowned abbey. The monks dislike visitors. Their ways are not exactly orthodox. They celebrate a certain harvest festival with unsavory vigor. Okay. That may be somewhere that we want to go to. But again, it's kind of predicated on getting rid of the tentative evidence first. Okay, run things on. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane, if that means anything. And then work done. So just do that. And pop that there. Right, then here. Risk our health, so we'll do that. And like the risk to health is not that much of risk because you can get it. You can get an injury, but you can very easily fix it, which is good. Right, let's go for the Ascent of Knives. We've gotten that one a few times, so we won't read it again until we probably get it again. Right, so you're about to be done. You too. Yeah, we're keeping this for you. My minion has returned, stumbling, mumbling, clumsily bandaged. They were caught in the coils of their own plan. Heal a fallen follower with talk. Okay, so yeah, this is why trying to get rid of tentative evidence is an issue. So initially, we were pretty successful. We got rid of damning evidence, not just tentative evidence. But this is what can happen. Now, what we need to do is we need to do things in a certain order. So I'm looking for, there's Porter. Okay, so let's have a chat with Porter about some cult business. And the idea here is to get rid of this extra notoriety that we just generated. And then we will make a decision on whether it's worth trying to get rid of that tentative evidence again or not. I'm kind of leaning towards it being a no, but we'll see. Let's then deal with that and get our health back. So that means then here we can just keep on looking for places. Let's actually look for one of these and see what we get. Now this here could be an issue. So we've got 2 dread, and then we have what's going to wait, where is it? Oh, down here. Yeah, what is going to be a 3rd dread there. Okay, so let's grab those. Okay, so I'm gonna get work done, but you're gonna forgive me because I'm gonna have to take another short little break because I need to talk to my wife about something. So I'm gonna go on break and then I'll be back, hopefully pretty quickly. Okay, sorry with that. My wife needed help with something, but she may need some more help, so I might have to go for a break again pretty quickly, but I'm not sure just yet. But we'll see. Okay, anyway, let's keep on going with what we're doing. So, all that moves must succumb to hunger. I've subverted my heart lore to Grail. Okay, and that is what we wanted to do. So now we can not study its dream. We have to wait though for the health dream to be done. We can though start translating these Latin books, so that's a good thing at least. Let's get that started. We're going to get some contentment there, which is nice because of the situation that's happening there. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So let's grab you and pop you up there. We then have our health back. Again, nice. We're going to get some vitality out of that. Okay, so the best thing to do right now is take that and dream the two together. So we get rid of the dread that's going to be around for the longest. Then hopefully these two go on their own, or at least this one, and then we only have that one to deal with, which wouldn't be too bad. A successful deception. Here are the rewards. Oh, this is not what I wanted at all, because you generate more notoriety. Oh, this is terrible. This is really, really bad. Yeah, we've messed up a little bit. We now got to get rid of 2 notoriety and a tentative evidence. So obviously I either talked to the wrong person or talked to them in the wrong way. Okay, so where are we? Yours are where are our lovely heart people? That's what I want to know. They're here, right? Yeah, so let's go with you and talk to you about the society. Okay. And then it's the, yeah, I'm getting the people the wrong way around. That's what it is. So we should have talked to you, and then we talk to you about the tentative evidence, right? And then we'll don't worry, Leo, we'll get to you eventually. And then we found the Cave of Candles. Okay, I don't think I've ever been to the Cave of Candles, so we might actually go there. It sounds like a fun place to go to, but only after we've dealt with the mess that we created here. So we've got 2 notoriety to get rid of, and we also have the tentative evidence, which still has 6.5 minutes to go. Then have some vitality there, which we're probably not going to use, but it's always handy to have it around anyway. Then we get some more restlessness there. You can pop up there. Everything seems to be kicking off now. Let's collect those and get back to work. Right, then you're now ready to be read. Let's translate the other one, because as always, if I don't do them all together, I forget which one is translated and which one isn't. Okay, so there's 1 notoriety, hopefully getting dealt with. The sun still moves, the wind still walks. My journals are the Labyrinth Clue. Okay, we'll grab those. But so what actually happened when... Oh, we didn't do this one, that's what happened. We were doing other stuff. Everything kind of happened all at once, is what actually happened. Okay. So, well done, Claudette. And actually, Claudette, you know what? There's probably another thing that I would like you to do as well. So, can you get rid of the other piece of notoriety too? Especially because... Oh, no. Hopefully we can capture before him. I don't think we can, though. So he's gotten it. Yeah, now we're going to have to try and get rid of some damning evidence, probably. So yeah, that's really kicking off this stream, I have to say. Right, let's study this one. Those indignities perpetrated by the deceitful fraternity of Obliviates. 58. That they did claim inheritance of the traditions of the House of Leth, but that they have disregarded both its most sacred and its most beautiful ceremonies where they are not found. Convenient. 59. Interesting. Big list of all the things they did wrong. The sand drains away like water, and beneath is the stone from which gods arose, so long ago. Ahead is the door, glistening like rain, its black surface beaded with blood, each drop heavy, curved like a swollen tick. Okay, so we know that the spider door requires us to provide a prisoner. Right, we're going to go through the white door, because the white door has a chance to get a favour from authority. It does require our health to get through, but we're okay with that. So let's do that. You now no longer have notoriety to worry about. We're going to generate some contentment because, again, I want to just keep a lid on that. I never like it to get out of hand. The performance has hardly begun when a moan of terror rises from the audience. Oh god, really? More notoriety. It's just, everything is just, and damning evidence as well. If this ever reaches trial, I will be in serious danger. Even if this hunter is disposed of, another may find their notes. Okay, so we now have to throw all of our moth people at getting rid of that, because otherwise we are in really serious trouble. Okay, so let's start with Sylvia, and let's talk to you about that. Hopefully you can just get rid of it, and then we don't have to worry about it. Then we'll get work going again. Start there. Okay, so what actually happened here? The performance ends immediately. The lights come up. We are ushered from our seats and urged into the street. It's never clear what has happened, but the club staff seem prepared, as if this has happened before. Lights bloom in nearby windows, and passers-by gawp at the crowd of guests dispersing into the night. So yeah, we got spotted among a crowd kind of slinking away from the club, when obviously something that wasn't very nice happened. Right, next. Now I share the right that the order used to summon a Caligine spirit. In clear defiance of the Lethean tradition, they did not offer Knocklor, a winter initiate, and a Malleus imperative, but rather Winterlore with a Knock initiative, and the Malleus. It is not to be born something. Okay, so we got some Winterlore there, and then we got, I think, yeah, we already had that right, so we just kind of got it for a second time. And we're now going to study this one here. Let's pop that in there and start up. A long dialogue between the Mountain Mother and the Vigilant Storm describes the ways in which both mountains and storms end, and the protections they use against those ends. Okay. Right, so favor from authority, which side? Let's go there. Oh, look at that. How lucky are we? A favor from authority. Oh my, I cannot. That's. So we got loads of them on this run, right? So it's not something really super special to get one. But it is something super special to get one when you actually need one. Last night I dreamt of a blue silk pavilion overlooking the cloudy labyrinth of the bounds. I listened to the mistress of the place speak of other visitors. The Suppression Bureau come here. Did you know that? I think they hope to recruit me as an ally. She snorts derisively. After what he did to Christopher. But their folly is your fortune. I will tell you something that may help you if the Bureau ever troubles you. So now, if this does go to trial, we can just use that and get out of it, which is great. So he's gone searching again. Potentially he's actually going to generate some... I don't know, he might... Yeah, he's going to generate some tentative evidence, I think. Or he may take this. And then that would generally start a counter to end the run. But now we can provide that. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Because this should be done before he gets up to there. And then it's going to be locked in, right? Yeah. So it's locked in. Potentially could still get it though if we don't manage to get rid of it. Yeah, he's looking for any kind of evidence now, but it looks like we managed to do it. Well done, Sylvia. My minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. I'm a little safer. That is perfect. Okay. Yeah, so we're doing pretty well on keeping on top of that kind of stuff. Now it's Leo who we need to talk to, so let's get some funds in there. So he has now one wound, or he's going to get one wound out of this. And then if he gets 3 of the same wounds, he's going to die. So we have to be very careful with him in the future. But we must use the knife, said the lion-throned one. The noose, the flame, the waking word, against those who have passed the 3-valved door, and so none may pass. And this is our law, and the law of the sun. So we get some very low level heart lore, which we're going to take. And yeah, it looks like we got away with one again. So for the second time tonight, we've gotten damning evidence against us. We managed to get rid of it. This one was not as kind of threatening as the last one, because we did also manage to get a favor from authority, which we could have used against. We could have used to negate it when it got to the point where otherwise it would end the game. But we also are probably going to have some tentative evidence when he's done there. But we're probably going to try and get rid of that as well. We'll give Clovette another try to get rid of that. At the moment we are healing up Leo. We also have to get ourselves back to work. We've got to be very careful not to let that lapse on us. So we got that there. The spider door we don't want to go through. We're going to probably head on back to here. Yeah, I don't want to be messing around with prisoners and an extra notoriety that we don't really need at the minute. So instead we just keep on there. We've got some nice places that we potentially can go. We do have tentative evidence again though. So I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of the notes elsewhere with a solicitor, with a supervisor, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. Oh, big board. You've done quite a bit since. Yeah, we definitely have. Hey there, Fables and Fairies. Yeah, so since I think you were last here, we have we found everybody for the cult, which is 21 people. Everybody has been raised up to their highest level, which is disciple for people who are not of the same lore as a cult. And in this cult, then these guys are called reshapers, the ones who are of Forge lore. We've also had a couple of times where we've had damning evidence, not just tentative evidence, but damning evidence against us. The first time we were able to get rid of it with a follower. Just now we were able to do the same again with the one that was generated, but we also got a favor from authority from the Mantis, which kind of gave us some peace of mind that we wouldn't actually have a game ending one there. We also had another brush with a run ender where we got up to 3 dread and actually got onto the red ticker, but we had a contentment with 3 seconds left, which got taken in and brought it back down to 2, and then we were able to just whittle it back down. So those have kind of been the highlights. We've also been working on our lore. We went through all of the unique places that you can go at the kind of starter level for expeditions. We also went to one of the second level ones as well. And we now have some higher level ones too, but I'm going to have to take a quick break for a minute or two because I need to chat with my wife about something. So hang on in there and I will be right. Okay, sorry about that. My wife had a question from her boss in work or something, so I had to help her with it. Okay, yeah, let's check the chat here. Sounds like it's been quite heart-racing, pun intended. It certainly has been, yeah. Things have really picked up. So while I have things paused, let me just kind of lay out what our strategy is. So at the moment, we are healing Leo in here because Leo tried to get rid of some notoriety, and it didn't really work out well for him. He got injured in the attempt, so we're trying to fix that at the moment. Once he's done, then we're going to talk to Sylvia about trying to get rid of this tentative evidence here. So hopefully we can get rid of that. Then what we really want to do is to get the ending that we want, which is a power victory. We need to get 36 Forge lore. So in order to do that, you can get it by a number of different ways. So you've got obviously your lore cards here. This at the moment is at strength 10. And we want to get that all the way up to, I think you can get them to 14 and maybe 16, but I think 14 is possibly where it goes up to. So that would give us either 14 or 16 of the 36 that we need. Then here we have our reshapers who will give us 10 forge as well. So potentially we have 24 and we need another 12. So the other 12 then can come from either if we go and summon something that will that we can maybe capture or force to take part in a rite, we could then bump that up to the 36. Or what we're going to look for is some kind of artifact like these over here. So this one is the highest level forge that we have at the moment, which is a 4. We have other ones of other aspects which are 8, but we're looking for one that would be a 12. And then combined, that would be enough to give us the 36 lore that we need for the victory. Once we have that in place, then what we can do is then start on leveling this up and move it through the different levels to get to the point where we then need to perform the rite and get our victory for this part of the game. So that's kind of where we are. Let's see what we've got here. So in my current run, Sylvia has been routinely disappointing me, failed 2 evidence destructions in a row, so she's been demoted in my mind. Yeah, I do that as well. I kind of, there's no rhyme or reason about it, but just on different cults that I do, certain people seem to be the reliable cult members, and it just kind of works in head lore, right? That this person here is the one, the last time I went to them with evidence, they were able to get rid of it, so I go to them again. Whereas this other person, every time I give them a chance to prove themselves, they just mess it up, and it just feels like that person is either just not competent in terms of their role in the cult, or is maybe a bit sketchy and is potentially actually is failing on purpose and has an ulterior motive for that. So I'm going to give Sylvia a go here. As I said, Sylvia has twice gotten rid of evidence for me. Once it was damning evidence. So hopefully it's going to be 3 on the trot. Absolutely no apparent mechanical basis. They should be identical, but we end up picking favorites anyway. Exactly. It's kind of like with D&D, where people will put dice in dice jail and stuff like that, which I think is hilarious as well. But it's just a even though it has, as I said, no mechanical benefit at all, it's just a nice thing for us, thinking maybe if I do it this way, something will change, even though realistically something's probably not going to change, or if it changes, it's not because you did that. Right, so we have entering the stag door. The painted river runs from a great chamber near the white door, far through the mantis, to its far edge where it enters the painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length last night with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail. As the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sail to best use the painted wind, and all the while the captain and I discoursed on the secrets of the House of the Sun. Okay, good, collect those. So I'm hoping now, fingers crossed, that she is able to get rid of it, because that's going to be a major boon for us, because it means that we're going to be able to go to one of these places here, and they are potentially, at least, high enough level that we can get something that's going to be order 12 magnitude, and that's going to be hugely advantageous to us. Right, so work is done. But it's one of the great things about this game, is that you can know, like, mechanically you can know a lot of stuff that goes on, but still, those mechanics can still work against you and end your run. But you still have options to try and get out of it, but they're not always going to work. And I like that. I don't like games where everything is just 100%, where it's like, just do this and then it will definitely cancel it out, or do this and you're definitely going to get X result. I don't like those because, for me at least, it takes the fun out. For other people maybe like certainty, but I like the uncertainty of things like that. But where are we here? So we are going to head back into the Mantis again. We're going to use our reason to get there. So, Fables and Fairies, what kind of cult are you doing at the moment? Are you doing a Forge cult, or which one is it on your current run? I ended up hemming and hawing about what I was going to do in terms of my own cult aspect. And then it was only because I decided I'm going to go for the power victory that it just made sense then to go for a Forge cult, because they just line up pretty well. Right, so there's a 1 there, so it means there's no kind of suspense. We know that Sylvia has been successful again. My minion has returned, the evidence has been destroyed, I'm a little safer. Okay, perfect. Right, so now that opens up the way for us here, so we're gonna go for that cult. I settled on a heart cult, and I've also got the power temptation. Okay, cool. So if you're on a heart cult, then it's probably going to be difficult for you to, not impossible, but difficult at least to get the power, to get the temptation win, because you're not going to, like, your guys are going to be maximum level 5 power, or like in their forge. So it means that you got to then find 5 forge from somewhere else, or more likely replace them with either a temporary one if you can get your hands on it, that's going to be at least 10 strength, or some kind of summons as well to do. And then you're getting more kind of convoluted with things, and it means that you can't, it kind of means with that kind of, with stuff like the temptation things, it's all about having things ready at the point when, like, everything falling into place at the right time to do it, because a lot of the temptation stuff is to do with the random timers. And it means it is, yeah, probably going to be a little bit harder for you to do that, because you've got to have all of your ducks lined up and then immediately be able to go straight for it and get it done. Whereas with heart, you could probably just do the heart cult victory, which would be, I think, a lot easier for you, because then obviously you're going to have to get 36 heart, but you got an advantage then because your heart people are going to be raised up to heart level 10 probably at some stage, and then you're going to have aspect 14 or so heart from your lore as well, because you're going to be focusing on getting your heart level up, because you want to raise all of your cult members anyway. So it kind of gels a bit better, I think, with your cult to go for that. But have you kind of thought about which one you're going to do? Yeah, I don't have a particular victory in mind because I don't really know them. That's true for me as well. I'm going for this temptation victory. All I know is for it, I need 36 forge at the very end. I still don't know the steps of how to get there. Generally, it's something to do with dreaming with your temptation and providing something each step. And it can change step by step as well. So I don't know the whole thing about it, but, for me, what I do is I kind of think about either opportunistic ones for an ending. So, taking maybe the work ending, which is probably the easiest one in the game to get, or just saying, listen, this is the cult I'm doing. because I'm doing this cult, I'm going to get pretty high level lore in it. It then makes sense to go for the victory connected to that particular cult, because those are kind of easier ones to get, I find, because you have that advantage. And then when you get to the point where you have, say, you're probably going to end up with 24 of the 36 that you need to get your victory, then you can look into what the specifics are of it and then go find the extra thing. Normally it's going to be, you have to do a certain rite. The rite will ask for 36 of that lore, and then that will give you a win condition to do with that particular aspect. This is mainly an exploration run, so I can learn more about the late game. Oh, that's good then. Yeah. So, yeah, for what I would recommend is some things that I do. You probably saw on my other streams. So before I went on any kind of major expeditions, I got all of these guys leveled up. So the way I did that was I exhausted the bookshop and the auction house to get as much lore as I could. I had some I think it was maybe 4th or 6th level Forge lore by the time I got it all together. That helped me then to get them up to a certain level. And then I used the Mansus then to get some temporary lore to be able to boost people up a bit further. Then once I had everybody ready, I started going on expeditions. So that's what we're doing now, is we're going on the expeditions. And then the expeditions then allowed me to start building up this collection over here. So eventually I'm going to get something over here that is going to allow me to get to the end that I want. So getting your cult ready, I think, is the most important thing for the end game, because it's much harder when the people don't have the skills that they need to do what you're asking them to do. And that includes like things like trying to get rid of evidence, or trying to get rid of notoriety and stuff like that as well. Now we are going to go here. I'm going to send someone Edge, because Edge I find is pretty nice when you're going on these higher level things, because generally there is something that can be fought on them. Okay, so the ascent to the cave through the high passes will be dangerous. Whatever waits in the darkness below is probably more dangerous still. Okay, so let's start that. And I like, with things like this, when I'm looking for some kind of high level artifact, I like to kind of almost stumble around in the dark with it, where I'm going to these different higher level places trying to find it, rather than going to the wiki and looking up the thing and finding out, oh, if I just go to this place, there's a chance to get it. I don't really like that. Okay, so took your prior advice and exhausted the 2 shops before even starting my cult, and then collected maybe about 90% of the followers before beginning expeditions. That's good, yeah, because then you get a nice spread of ability in terms of the different aspects that the people have, because sometimes if you don't have enough people, you can actually completely lack the aspect that is required to pass a certain piece on an expedition. And then what's going to happen is you're pretty much auto failing, and then someone is going to get injured from it. And if you do that a few too many times, you're going to run into trouble. Okay, let's grab that one there. We've read that a few times, so we won't do it again. We will pop back in though, get that going, and get our reason in there. Okay, so now we can see what's going on here. So we have, so the first one is going to take Forge. So we've already got 10 Forge on that, so let's not worry about that too much. The next one then is some kind of creature. It can be defeated in battle or respond to the mother's power. So we've already gone into some edge here, so it makes sense to send Elridge as well, get that edge up to 10, and then that gives us a pretty good chance of defeating the snakes, and then we can get things going again. Right, and then that one is just some more restlessness, so we won't worry about that. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to do it, and even if you're not going for a particular ending, it's a nice way to kind of explore and get used to the mechanics involved in kind of doing the expeditions and getting a bit further on from that. And then once you have, you're going to get probably to a situation where you've got a board that kind of looks like this, where you've got plenty of lore that you have, and you're going to have options in terms of what ending you want to go for. And at that point, what I would suggest is once you kind of decide on an ending, so if it's to do with your cult, it's going to be obvious what kind of lore you need, because it's going to be the lore of that cult. If it's to do with your temptation, it's again going to be obvious because it is related. It's going to be like, so my one is a forge on its power, so I know that's going to be forged, that's needed for that. And 36 is the magic number for those endings. Then the more obscure ones are ones to kind of go for after you've kind of played around with those. So it's just a case of doing expeditions and getting used to getting your people through it, and not kind of getting stuck at certain points, and also just managing the whole thing with the notoriety and the evidence and stuff. And then, so at one point on one run, I had maybe 40 or 50 of these things as well, and then I had like lore of the highest level in almost all of the ones as well, so it gave me plenty of options to be able to go on and do things. And then I was kind of comfortable with stuff, but at the same time, I think that run actually ended either on dread or fascination, because I got to the point where I thought, I'm not sure what I want to do, and I kind of lost sight of keeping an eye on the regular stuff with the dread and stuff, and actually ended up losing the run at that stage, which was kind of like with this game, it can obviously immediately frustrating, but then kind of exciting, because then you get to start over again and apply all the stuff that you learnt on the previous run. And that's one that I think one of the best things about this game is when you start over, you feel as if you've actually gained something as well. And it's like, I think that kind of plays into why it's so replayable. So generally him going on the hunt now is a good thing for us, because it means that he may not go hunting when we actually generate notoriety a bit later. Okay, here we're going to grab that one because I just want to read. I don't think I've read this one in a long time. In sleep I ran my fingers along the ridged edges of the stag door's scars. Our company it was that shattered it, Jerby says suddenly. Before the gods, who were flesh, the Mansus was forbidden to mortals. We were the first known. He begins again to weep his molten tears. I wish that we had not. I wish I had died in the world. I've forgotten what else he said, but I remember the shape of the fissures in the stag door, and for all of today, doors will fear my touch. Okay, so we get some temporary knock lore. Right, so this needs to be dealt with because, yeah, you can see that is getting to the point where it's potentially going to be run ending. So let's get this one going. Pop that in there. In times of special crisis, I might visit a street pharmacist to purchase a tincture of opium and make my dreams sweet, but only in times of a special crisis. So we start that up. That will give us the contentment that we need, and then we won't have to worry about that as much. frost, scarred and shivering, we made it through the mountains. Okay, so that bit is done. So now our forge piece is done. It's now going to switch to the edge. Okay, work is done as well. Let's get that going again. So there, we're kind of lucky. Actually, that's luck as well, because that's going to give us contentment too. But yeah, that could obviously have been run ending. If when I played before, my focus would be completely on this and managing it, and I wouldn't have even noticed that this was about to go red. I would have thought, oh, it's only 2 or something. You get the picture up when it's 2, that's fine. Leave it, I've got time to do it. And then by the time it was going red, I might have already committed to going to the Mantis again here and have no options because I had no way to generate contentment. And then something like this might actually pop up and save my ass. But generally when you make mistakes like that, the game isn't that nice to you. Right, so we're not going to generate another contentment because we talked about earlier in the stream where contentment has a much lower shelf life than anything else. So you shouldn't stack up contentment because you're just wasting your time, wasting resources. What you should do instead is wait until this is kind of close to being done, and then start on the next contentment that you're going to get. And that way then you're going to just whittle it away and get rid of it, and it's actually going to be more efficient for you. Right. But not that I'm anybody who watches my YouTube stuff or anything else knows that any game I'm not an efficient player. So this is like the one time when I actually try to be efficient at anything. Okay, expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. Okay, so here what we could do is, so these guys here, right, they're kind of temporary guys. So what you could potentially do is use your lore and level them up, and then get one that actually has some edge, and then add some edge into that as well. But we won't do that. What we're going to do is, I think later on we're going to have something where we're going to have to find some kind of concealed entrance or doorway, or some kind of maybe trapdoor or secret hatch, that whatever we've come here to get is where that's located. So what I'm going to do to do that is, lantern lore is normally pretty good for that. Knock is also good for it, but we're going to go with some lantern lore and put in cat there. Just trying to get a little bit ahead of that and get ready for it. So this contentment here, we may be lucky with. If we have we'll pop it up here and have a quick look at it. So you can see it's only got like 48 seconds left. So by the time this one goes all the way around, it may get picked up, it may not get picked up, I'm not sure. Depends whether it has another one to go. I'm safe for now, my adversary is not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and I found no new clues. Yeah, I love speculating what challenges a given expedition might end up needing based on the location description. Yeah, I love doing that too. What I hope is my memory for what actually comes up in these things, having repeated them, is not great. And I'm hoping that I don't get to the point where I remember, oh, this is that one, so therefore I need to bring 2 people of this one and 2 people of that one and 2 people of that one, and then I don't need to, like, it's just mechanics then, and it's not fun anymore. So I think if I ever get to that stage, I'm probably going to stop playing the game, honestly. But for now, we're going to put in plan for next phase, because we're still against the serpents, but we've got 15 edge in there. So if we end up getting some kind of injury, it's just going to be bad luck rather than bad preparation. So we're happy enough with that. But yeah, I like that. I like being able to just have a look at what kind of place you're going to, and then deciding what you need for that. Like if it's something where it it feels like maybe it's going to be haunted rather than occupied, as it were, by physical beings. Then you're probably, instead of edge, you're probably looking for something that's going to ward off a curse, stuff like that. So things like winter and moth, I think, are pretty good for that. At least winter is. Moth, I may be wrong about. There's something like enlightenment, or this is something like enlightenment. Okay, well, we could certainly do being enlightened now and again. Okay, so it did capture the other contentment. That's now going to drop down to 1 and not be an issue at all. Let's grab you. Last night, Jeremy was talkative. He spoke in a siege engine voice of the histories he's overheard in the waking world. I listened until his stories tailed off again into weeping. Okay. I love as well the connection. Obviously, it was a conscious decision to make a connection between the people that you, or the characters that you meet in the Mansis, and the people who've written the books that you're using to get into the Mansis, because a lot of the people that you're reading, you're finding in there as well, and kind of finding out a little bit of what happened to them, but it still leaves enough mystery that you can kind of, there's blanks there that your own mind can fill in as well. I think moth generally is used to pull off lies in expedition. Yeah, it's kind of for deceiving people. You're right. But there are, like, I'm just trying to think. Some of the stuff is kind of will be dual aspect as well. But yeah, I think lies when it says deceived. But generally I don't go big on moth because if there's somebody there, I will go with edge to begin with, because the thing is, when there are enemies, they could be deceived, or they could be what's the other one? Charmed or whatever, using heart lore. But generally they can always be fought. So it's kind of sometimes at least a good thing to do that. Let's send Pope and some more lantern lore with us. The serpent rolls and roars, its death throes shake the earth, but it's dying. We will pass. Okay, so we should have moved now on to the phase where we're going to find whatever it is. For us at the moment now, it would be nice if he went searching right now. I don't think he's going to, unfortunately. So what we're going to do is it's always hard to time this, but I'm going to try and time it properly this time now. So I think I'm going to pause it there. This has nothing to do with what I'm kind of planning to do, but it's just something that I need to do right now. So we're going to start you off. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get Clovette and pop her in there, start that, and pop that in there. Now this potentially is too early, but what we're trying to do is to get her to the phase where she's looking to get notoriety at around the point when the notoriety is generated. But I can never remember exactly at what phase and at what point in the phase you should start up. And again, if I ever get to the point where I get it down to a science, then I'm probably going to be at the point where I'm falling out of love with the game. Because I love ambiguity, I love kind of randomness, and I hate kind of mechanical certainty of things, at least it being too much mechanical certainty. I know there are people who, that's their bag, they love figuring it out and knowing if I put it in exactly this time, every time, then I'm going to get the exact result that I want, and good on them. That's kind of the way where they get their kicks from, and that's where they get the joy from, and I wouldn't take that away from them. But for me, it's not as joyous to do something like that. Okay, so there we go. So looking at that, if we had done it a bit earlier, she would have captured it now. So maybe What, she's got maybe 16 seconds to go. So maybe like, yeah, 20 seconds earlier or something. But yeah, I'm going to purposely forget that now so that I don't do it at exactly that time next time. Okay, a little cache of treasures culled over the years from the serpent's meals. It has nosed them into a glinting pile. So glinting pile is good for us because we are in search of an artifact rather than a book. So glinting and pile kind of speaks to some kind of object rather than a book. You wouldn't normally describe a book as glinting, but we're going to see what we have. So we obviously have our notoriety there, and we have 3 items. So we have a book, okay, that's written in Latin. We then have Ichor Vitreous, which looks like it's probably what, lantern? And then we have another book. Okay, so there was one item there that was glinting on top of 2 books. All right, so we have the notoriety there as well. Hopefully she will capture it and he won't get it. The first book is actually not written in Latin. Is that in Sanskrit or something? It's Aramaic. Okay, we don't know Aramaic yet. We have to learn that later. And you're also in Aramaic. Okay, that kind of makes sense because generally books found in the same place will be generally either written in English or in another language, or a combination of English and another language. And the other language generally will be like, if you have 3 books in another language, they'll all be in the same language, which I kind of like. It's kind of fitting. Now we have the Ichor Vitreous, which is a 12th strength lantern. So what that says to me is that the level where we went on that expedition is the level we need to be at to get the item that we need for our power victory. So what we're going to do with our explorer is we're going to go look for another place. And so the stream is going to end soon-ish. Yeah, I'm going to run time on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm first going to summarize what we've done today, what we've achieved, and then I'm going to talk about what the plan is for next week and how we're going to advance ourselves to get to that power victory. I don't think next week we will get the power victory, but I think next week we will get to the point where everything or most of the stuff that we need is going to be in place, or at least we're going to be getting close to acquiring all the things that are needed to get that victory. But let's run time on for a couple of minutes first. I'm very interested to see if she gets rid of the notoriety. There's always that kind of tentativeness, or kind of you get butterflies in your stomach, at least I do, thinking whether he's going to go searching before they get rid of it or not. So here I'm gonna grab that again, because not because I need it, because I don't need it, but because we haven't read the description of this one in this particular stream. So Jerby was weeping again. I scooped up his molten tears in my cupped palm. In the dream, my skin peeled and blistered, but only in the dream. Okay, so peeling and blistering does kind of speak very much to Forge lore, and that is indeed Forge lore there. Okay, and then we got that one done as well. Right, so she got rid of the notoriety, which is brilliant. Optimism is the spice which saves. Indeed it is. Okay, and the great thing is, it means now that we are free to go on another expedition straight away. So when we find this place, we're going to start preparing for that. Let's pop you there and pop that in. Because yeah, those, like, it depends really on what phase, I feel, what phase you are in your preparations. If it's a case of you haven't found all of your members, or you found all of your members and you haven't actually raised everybody up to the highest level that they can be, or you haven't maybe you haven't got your stats up to where you want it to be, whether that is at the maximum, like I would recommend at least for your passion and your reason that you get them to the maximum allowed for that character without using rights to put it up further, and then have your health up to a reasonably high level so that something like this would not be an issue to you. Okay, this place merits closer investigation. Is Volvoid's Cathedral, or Citadel, sorry. In the days of the great power of the Turks, a man of power ruled here. Over many years he fed many thirsts, until his own thirst overcame him. I've learned that both his treasures and his victims may remain in an untouched vault below the castle. Okay, so again, I do not know, I haven't looked up the wiki to see what is available here. I don't want to look up the wiki to see what is available here, but two things jump out at me. First is power. So potentially that power speaks to Forge, and potentially what we're actually looking for a victory. The other thing then is talking about thirsts, which then speaks more to Grail. So the things that we find there may be connected to one or both of those lores. There's kind of little hints there, which maybe we're reading a bit too much into it, maybe we're not. But that looks like the next place we're going to go. But yeah, what I was talking about is, get your stats up to a nice place there, and then with the tentative evidence, if you haven't quite gotten everything where you need it to be, what you can do is let him have his tentative evidence. Don't go on any expeditions. Focus on other things. Focus on getting all of your cult members leveled up to the appropriate levels. Focus on getting some more lore. Focus on reading those books that you haven't read. Focus on getting your stats up to where they need to be, so that when you're going to go for harder things later on, that you're ready for it. You don't have to kind of scramble to do things, and let that 10-minute ticker just tick its way down and get rid of it. Don't risk your lower level guys who haven't been completely raised up trying to get rid of tentative evidence that doesn't really matter. When you're in this phase, you then have a choice, really. You can decide to wait them out as usual, and not do expeditions, and with that then kind of tick it along and not really do too much with it. Maybe, like for me, if I was going to do that, I would start working on combining these lores, and maybe doing some subverting as well, so that this section here, or maybe even up to the moth as well, this section here of the board would be kind of moved more to the right, as in they would be all at stronger levels. So that would be an option for me to do, or I will just kind of let it tick on and have a chat or whatever, and then when I'm ready, then go to my next one. Or the other choice that I have is to use someone obviously from the cult to then go and get rid of it. But there's always an inherent risk in that as well if you do that. Right, so before we end today, we're going to prepare for this next one. So we're going to pop that in there. Right, so I'm thinking this one, it's a citadel, it's going to have people in it. I need someone who's able to fight. So Rose is going to go. We're then going to provide her funds. Okay, I'm going to start that out, and then we're going to see exactly what it is. The Volvoid's vault will be hidden well. So we're going to have to have some way of finding it. So I'm thinking, after I've gotten my edge up to where I want it to be, I'm going to put in someone with lantern lore to help me find it, to find the vault. And if the stories are true, his victims may not rest peacefully in the dark behind the citadel's walls. Okay, so these people may be like in zombie form or in ghost form, so we may have to switch out from our edge to something like maybe winter, or something that will help us to fight kind of things that are not corporeal. We'll have to see though. Okay, so we're going to deal with you as well. So you've gone there. Let's pop you there and pop in some funds and start it out. Yeah, so in terms of what we've done so far in the stream, we've chosen what kind of victory we're going to go for, which is a power victory. We have been aggressively exploring on our expeditions to try and find some more items that are going to help us with that. We've also been working on taking up some of our lore. We've been advancing ourselves in the Mansus, so we got to the point now where we have the spider door available. If we want to go higher in the Mansus, we're going to have to use prisoners, because getting higher in the Mansus at the moment, at least, is not something that we need to do to get our victory. We're not doing that right now. At some point, we may decide that the best way to get our victory is to get temporary forge lore of a high level from the Mansus, and to do that, we may have to either probably go through the spider door to get that, and at that point, then we will think about these guys down here becoming being turned into prisoners and being sacrificed to get through that door, and then thinking about how we're going to deal with the notoriety that generates. But that's going to be kind of towards the end of Daedalus's time with his cult. So that's kind of what we've done today in terms of that. We also advanced our health a bit, so we're now at 4 of the 5 maximum. I don't feel like we need to get to the maximum because we don't really have any major threats to our health. We don't use enough health in different areas to have to need more either, and we're not going for a victory that requires us to have so if we look at the priest run that I have on YouTube, that requires us to have a lot of health that's going to have to be turned into different injuries and conditions and stuff. We don't have that with the power victory that we're going for, so we don't need to worry about that. So our main focus now is on trying to find a 12th level forge kind of item that can be used in a rite, and then also getting this forge lore here up to the highest that we can get it. So that's going to be what next stream is going to be about, is doing some high level expeditions to get the item that we're looking for that we can pop over here, and also doing probably some of these mid-level ones here to get some more lore that is going to allow us then to level this up to the point where we want it. And then once we have that in place, which will probably take most of next stream, if not the whole of next stream, then the stream after that, if we're still lucky enough to be around in its cult and hasn't been caught or given into despair or whatever, then the one after that will be where we will then start actively going for the power victory, which will mean that we're going to have to start figuring out what is required to get this to the point where it's going to need that ritual with the 36 forge lore. And then once we've done that, then we're going to then pick a different character. I'm hoping we get Dancer, because I haven't done a Dancer one before, so fingers crossed that we're going to be able to get a Dancer run out of that, but there's a lot of work to do before then. So what I'm going to do now is here we got, okay, so we can have a look here. So we have a hidden door that needs to be found with either lantern or knock, and then we have this, they can be dealt with edge, so we're fine with that. So let's provide some lantern from Cat and run that on. So yeah, I'm going to see how this expedition turns out, and then we're probably going to end the stream and find somebody to raid. But I have to say I've had really good time streaming tonight. We only had like not even a 10-minute period where we had a few skip frames. So certainly a lot better than last week's one, where we just had skip frames coming out of like everywhere, it seemed. Okay, so these dead with their avid, pitiful eyes have died once already. Their hold on the waking world is weak. We should be able to send them down into darkness, but we must take care. Let's set Elridge. That then takes our edge up to 10, so then that will change. Almost certainly, the dead are pale as ember shadows. They move like cobwebs in a breeze. Almost certainly they can't stand before us. We'll send them mumbling back into the shadows of the wood. So we should get by them. It's going to just be bad luck if we don't. And if it happens, we'll probably get by them the second time. But now we do have some lantern in there as well, so it means that when we get to that point, things will be fine. We've got a health back. We're going to get some vitality out of that one as well. Work is done. That's good. Yeah, we've had a fantastic time tonight. It's always nice when you get someone willing to chat on the stream as well. It kind of helps a lot, kind of in organizing your own mind, because there is a very different feel to streaming compared to making YouTube videos. Generally, when I make a YouTube video, I will have some kind of plan as to what I'm going to do, and then probably in the middle of it forget about it and just go off on a tangent. Whereas here, I update people on what's going on, and then it kind of reminds me of what is important for this particular stream and what I need to focus on. So I really like that. And it's always fun to chat with people who kind of have similar interests or similar passions to you as well. It's one of the great things of the internet, I feel. There are a lot of bad things on the internet, but there's some pretty awesome things as well. Okay, so let's get that started again. Okay. Our expedition plans. So we got by those guys, wasn't a problem. Here, indeed. Right, so Lantern's going to be next, so let's send Slee for that. Yeah, so I guess I should probably talk a little bit about my YouTube stuff as well, seeing as we're ending. That's what most streamers I see seem to do, either to talk about what's on the next stream, the ones that stream more than once a week, we'll talk about that, or the YouTube stuff. So on my YouTube channel currently, let me let you know what I have going on. So if we can find my YouTube, there we go. Okay, so currently I have a Cultist Simulator one over there, which is a priest run as well, where we're going for a special priest only victory, which is to do with getting injuries and afflictions and stuff like that, and using them in some kind of elaborate rite to get an ending. I've also got a playthrough of a game called The Shrouded Isle, which is kind of similar to this game, where you're on the Shrouded Isle. There's a cult there. It's card based. It's not as involved as this game, but it's still pretty nice. And it's got some nice mechanics. The runs are pretty short on it, and there is lots of learnings that come from each one. That's kind of on this style of game that I have at the moment. I've also got recently finished the Innsmouth case, which is it's kind of a choose your own adventure type novel thing, where it has what's the name of it, Lovecraftian, kind of like it's set in Lovecraftian universe, right? So there's a lot of kind of references to Lovecraft books and lore and stuff as well. That's pretty nice. Then the other side of things, I also play a lot of turn-based tactics stuff. So on there, I've got some Necromunda stuff. I've got some Wartime City of the Damned stuff. I've also got some multiplayer stuff with a friend of mine. We're doing some bar trauma at the moment as well. So there's plenty over there if you want to head on over to check out. It's basically Bard and Plays over there, the same as here on Twitch. But yeah, I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to send you guys off to someone nice here on Twitch that you can hopefully enjoy as well. We'll almost certainly find this hidden door. Okay, so let's send Pope, just to make it a little bit easier for the guys. Get a third lantern out there, kind of passing backwards and forwards across the walls, looking for that telltale little crack in the wall. Unfortunately, we don't have a dwarf to come along and use their, what's it called, stone cunning or whatever it is, that would help them with things like that. But these lantern guys should be fine. Okay, so we're going to get some contentment as well. We're going to grab that, and the reason I'm grabbing that, oh, I shouldn't be grabbing that at least. And the reason I'm grabbing that is because my plan for next time is to take some of these, probably about maybe half of them, and study them together and bump them up another level. Because then we're going to have more places to go that are going to potentially give us 12 strength items to use in rights, and that's what we're looking for at the minute. And then the reason why I'm not combining them all, well, one is because it's an odd number, so you can't combine them all anyway. But the other reason is because we are going to want to do some mid-level like expeditions as well, to try and get some more lore that's going to help us to kind of accelerate getting this all the way up as well. Okay, so let's run you on. Okay, so now, talk to you about cult business. So let's see if we've gotten better timing this time. Again, I do not want to have perfect timing. I just want to have roughly not bad timing. It's fine with me. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. Okay, and the wolf despair prowls elsewhere. We zoomed in a bit too much on that. But yeah, for anybody watching this on who's watching either the VoDs on YouTube, I know people don't really watch VoDs on Twitch, but if you do watch the VoD on YouTube, you should also check out Fables and Fairies on Twitch. So Twitch, I guess, / Fables and Fairies. They're also playing Cultist Simulator at a so would you say it's kind of a I forget what time you do it. Can you maybe post there? Like, are you in the US? You're welcome. Yeah, so just let me know there so I can kind of put it on for the VoD on YouTube so people know to go and give you a check out there as well. Okay, faint lines of stone, a surface that yields pressure. We found it. Hidden door moves with a grating shutter and a shower of dust. So let's pop. We can pop anyone in. So let's put in someone with lore that we generally don't put in. So let's put in some moth people. I'm in the US. I run it Friday nights. So 8 p.m. USA CDT time. Okay. So that's Central Daylight Savings Time. So anybody who is watching the VoD on YouTube, because now a lot of my people watch my VoDs or watch my videos when I'm asleep, so you're probably awake when Fables and Fairies is streaming, so definitely go and check that out. And it's, you know, it's always good to support someone who, you know, I feel like smaller streamers should support each other as much as they can, but also someone who is kind of getting into the game as well. Because for me, that's kind of part of the exciting part, is watching someone else learn or fall in love with a game that you fall in love with as well. Rather than, for me at least, watching someone doing complete expert play is not as exciting. Because I like to feel like I'm part of the journey, and when it's someone whose play is just way above my head, I feel like I'm just a spectator. It's kind of like, and that's fine. Sometimes you do want to watch someone who's absolutely amazing at something, and that's fine. But there's a different connection with the person, I feel, when you feel like they're learning something that you learned before, and they have the same kind of feelings about it, and they have similar opinions about it as well. I think that's just amazing. Couldn't agree more. Good. Right, so we're going to grab that. We're not going to read this one because we're going to see what happens here. So there's going to be a bit of a tug of war here, but I think that he will actually take the notoriety instead of us. Because I'm pretty sure that his magnet is just slightly bigger than ours. At least in my head, that's the way I think of it. That's why he always gets it and we don't. Right, so let's collect that. Now, we may have neglected this, which is going to be interesting. Let's see if reason... Oh no, reason goes there. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, we got pretty close to it though, I think. Okay. Here in Voivode's Mausoleum, swag cobwebs hang like soft grey drapes. A great sandstone sarcophagus stands upright at the far end. It's empty. Okay. Someone has left a little heap of treasures before the sarcophagus like an offering. There are no footprints in the dust. Whoever left them came here long ago, or else had no need to touch the ground when they pass. Right, so let's see. So we got notoriety. What else did we get? We got a 26 enticements. Okay, so a book. We got a wakeful tympanum. Okay, is that like for? I don't know what the hell it's for. In the grove where they flayed the thunder, they rattled this instrument to rouse the frenzy. The power still clings like scent. Okay. So it's kind of like a tambourine, I guess. Kind of similar to that with tassels on it. The Gospel of Zacchaeus. Okay, so you are 8 level. Okay, so these type of ones are kind of between 8 and 12, it looks like. Right, so let's collect those. And I'm not going to leave it so that we don't know who's going to grab the evidence. I'm going to wait until we know that. Uh-oh. Well, now we know because we actually went a little bit too early that time, which I'm fine with. As I said, I'd rather not have perfect things. So you are in Frisian. So we're going to pop you down there. We're going to have to find a book for Frisian at some point. Or sometimes these guys can help you to learn those languages as well. This is written in Fusain. Okay. So we have Fusain there, so you can go there. And then you are in Greek, I think, right? Yeah, you're in Greek. Okay. So you can go there. Right. So this one is a mix of things. But I guess the thing about that is, rather than it being someone's collection, which the other one was that we got, this is something where someone has brought it there and left it. So it's been gathered together, and it can be, I guess, in different languages there. It kind of makes more sense, at least in my headcanon, that it's that way. So he is going to find where is the notoriety? Where did it go? I don't know, but it's definitely there somewhere. And he will show me where it is when he finds it, I guess. Or did we actually get lucky and not get any notoriety? Because I don't see any on the board. Or did I just miss her taking it and getting rid of it like instantly? That could have happened too. May have actually completely missed that. Okay, so it doesn't look like there is any notoriety. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pause there and I'm going to save. And I'm going to be back next Monday again with this run. And we're going to, as I said, kind of get ourselves to the point where we're not actually starting, but ready to start going for that power victory, the stream after. So it's going to be a lot of the preparation that has to go into that, which is a lot more expeditions, a lot more reading of books, combining lore and stuff like that. But now I'm going to find us someone to raid. So I think I'm going to go for... yeah, it's probably going to be Wands again. Yeah, so Wands is still on. He's playing the Long Dark, or the Long Dark. The guy is pretty cool guy. He's really interesting to listen to, and the chat there as well. Are some pretty cool people to hang around in. It's just kind of a nice community, and they do generally tend to support streamers as well. So it's kind of nice there. So let's do that. Let's start the raid there.
Uh-oh. What? Hey, Barton Plays, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. Good to see ya. Wow, let's just go for it. What else are we gonna do? Thank you for coming by in the raid, and great to have you. Great to have you. Do our best, that's all we can do. Hey, Fables and Prairies, welcome in. Thanks for coming by in the raid. And thank you again, Barton. You're playing some Cultist Sim. Nice. Very cool. Thanks for bringing the raid over here. Appreciate you. Things are interesting. We actually started the stream with 10 health, and we've now stimmed twice. We stimmed twice. So we're at 39 health. So we actually did okay. But yeah, we forgot our bedroll. We climbed up to the mine, we climbed all 3 ropes, and then I camped in a cave nearby the mine, left my bedroll, climbed all the way down, realized I made a big boo-boo, and here we are, second run through the mine. Blizzard travel revenue? Yeah, why not? We're fine. Astrid knows what she's doing, alright? Astrid knows what she's doing. Plus we have the Warren Teas. Warren Teas are so OP. You drink a tea and all of a sudden you get like half of your temp bar up. Ouch. Yeah, Fables. It's been pretty gnarly. I won't sugarcoat it. Things have taken a bit of a turn here. That's something I do IRL. You'd be one of those bodies that you find? Yeah, exactly. Alright, last rope, and then we're sleeping at Stone Shelf. Should be warm. We're getting through our food supply. That's the only problem with this, is we've eaten a bunch of stuff that was our emergency food instead of being able to hunt and take a deer down or something. Yeah, still, it's a good one, eh? your game crashed? I'm sorry, Fenris. It's tough. I was going through some stuff like that when I was playing a bit. 2 more stims out there. I know. I actually am kind of happy I left that stim in the ravine because it's giving me something to look forward to and something to like push towards as the next goal. So if I can say, you know, take out a couple bear maybe and make my way to Pleasant Valley Cinder Hill, I do some crafting and I reward myself with a stim afterwards. But yeah, we're making some bad mistakes. So I don't know if this is going to be the one that's going to worry Perfect Trip, but you never know. You never know. What's this? Oh, we got a pile of junk here.
Wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Yeah, we'll do inventory management tomorrow. Lesson for everyone. You missed the bedroll? Yeah. It's probably best you didn't see it. We were doing really well. We hadn't lost 1 health, and then of course we went through the waterfall cave, so we took a hit point there. Packer, anyone can show people out. No worries. I don't have a setting on that. There you go. Thank you, Dingus. Yeah, folks, you should be checking out Perfect Trip if you haven't already. They put on a real good show. Definitely worth a look. I had an idea for a game long ago where all the loot in the game would come from the corpses of previous players. That's neat. That's neat. This is survival, not survival crafting. You loot your own dead bodies. That's kind of neat. That's a neat mechanic. Are we gonna get through this thing or what? I think so. Rewards players who die a lot. Well, everyone, you know, every once in a while we talk about how it'd be neat if you had like the corpse of your previous playthrough existing in the world, so you could loot maybe like 1 item from it. I think that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, Perfect Trip, that's Captain Picard. It's now Dingus. Dingus lost a bet, I think. Something along those lines. Players who die a lot wouldn't have great loot though. Oh, that's true, yeah, because they wouldn't have time to amass a collection and they'd just be looting their starter gear over and over, right? We did get some cloth here, so we have that going for us. We need 5 cloth for a bare bedroll, so we might as well save what we can for now. Oh, open to haxing? Yeah, I guess if you played that way. Oh, Barton's shouting out Fables and Fairies, last play in Sid Mears. Nice one. Fables just showed up today. Nice, nice to know they're streaming. Could abuse it by dropping the other loot, then you... Oh, okay. All the other loot. Yeah. I don't know. I guess, like, there's always loopholes that you can... Like, some players just play that way. They want to find that loophole to make things, you know, a little bit cheesier. Teach their own. Alright, let's see. 36%. Let's go. Nice. Iron Gut Asteroid for the win. If you could only loot from previous players, wouldn't everyone end up with nothing? Oh, true, yeah. They'd have to figure that out, eh? You love cheese, Sarah. Nice. You do Friday and Sunday nights? Right on, Fables. Sid Meier's, yeah, I know that's a big game. I've never played it, but I've seen a little bit of it. I think my sister's a huge fan of that series. Yeah, we used up all our teas and most of our coffee too. So we did kind of burn through our resources, unfortunately. But that's the way she goes sometimes. See if we can go. Not too much cheese about with TLD though, in my opinion. Maybe I just don't have enough hours. There's quite a bit of cheese to do, like basically like little exploits, stuff like that. Your runs turn into stories. Interesting. Be cool to just find the body. You could tell the story of how they died. Yeah. Having tanks in 1700, building the pyramids in Washington DC. Oh, really? So you can like really do whatever the heck you want. That's neat. The idea was it would be a zombie game where you start out with a small amount of loot in a local area. Loot would not respawn and would instead stay on player corpses. Oh, so until there was a server wipe, like everything is. Okay, I get it. It's interesting. Yeah, there's a few, Sarah. Like, there's a few spots you can go out of bounds for shortcuts. There's a few places where you can teleport. Guntech knows all about that stuff. There's also some other things, like you see me lighting a fire and leaving teas on it, and they're warm like 8 years later. Stuff like that. A little on the cheesy side. Shame we don't have a mag lens. Alright, I think I might leave now. It's a little cold, but I don't want to get too carried away and camp out here for too long. Let's go for it. Yeah, maybe I could borrow the mag lens for a fight or two. No, you know what I did, Maria? I did get a mag lens on one of my outer looper runs, but we killed her off on like, I don't know, day 50, I think it was. It wasn't the 100-day file that had it. You know what, let's go for warmth here. Oh, right, we should go to Climber's Cave, right? Climber's Cave might have some good loot for me. So let's bear left here and try to hit that up. I don't think I've ever seen the sun out. Yeah, the sun is pretty rare, and if it is out, it might only last 2 hours before there's a weather change. A new weather system blows in and messes up my day. Hey, Desno, welcome in. Hope you're well. Great to see ya. The heck's that? Oh, right, I know where that is. I'm not going there. Hey, Big Puppy Stevo, welcome in. How you doing? Good to have you. Hope you're well. I don't mind shouting Stevo out. Stevo's another streamer who just got affiliate a couple of weeks back, playing a variety of games. A lot of fun over there. Great vibe, good energy. It's like me, IRL, never seen the sun. Oh, odds. Hey, thanks. Pummel Party. Actually, Poppy, I was lurking a little watching that. It looked like a little fun. You and Darkstorm were having at it. Very cool game. We're saving the fire striker till the bitter end. We're gonna carry those
Perfect.
until that's all we have left.
Oh, I'm starving.
It never gets dark, right? Get like a permanent dusk kind of vibe. Really strange. Sun is overrated. 5 years of August in Japan taught me that. What? Don't we need like the sun to photosynthesize the plants and like give us things we need? Pretty sure we need the sun to grow veggies and stuff too, right?
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Wrong way. Climber's Cave is not too far from the exit, so I think it's a fair... Oops. I think it's a fair play. Let's have a look out for mushrooms and rose hips, though. I think you can grow stuff without sunlight. Well, yeah, I guess if you have like a hydroponic setup with you know, lighting, but I get, what about like cave algae or something? Is that what you're talking about? I'm pretty sure you can't grow things without light. Okay, okay. Hey Cindy, welcome back. Yeah, I didn't realize Japan got so hot either. I was kind of surprised by that comment. Okay, what the heck? Right, we gotta go that way still. Yeah, no, I know where we are. I know where we are.